Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful Alpharetta. And if you are looking for a bank that's big enough to handle pretty much any need you can throw at them, but small enough to do it in a personal way, I recommend Renaissance Bank. And I know that from my own experience. And what I would just point out to you is Forbes magazine has recognized Renaissance is one of the top banks in the country in the surveys that they have done. So there's a whole lot of folks on the Renaissance bandwagon. And if you want to check them out, go to renaissancebank.com and find one of their local offices and check in with them. I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Taylor Cox. Taylor is with Koelbel and Company. Taylor, welcome.
Well, thank you, John. Pleasure to be here.
Hey, it's great to have you here. So let's give everyone a little introduction to Koelbel and Company. How are you serving folks out there?
Absolutely. So Koelbel and Company is a 7-year-old family real estate office headquartered in Denver, Colorado. For the bulk of that family's timeline, the company's timelines has been very Colorado-centric, community builder. But over the last 2 or 3 years, we've been expanding out Colorado, taking a footprint in Texas, and now we're excited to be here in Atlanta as well.
That's awesome. Welcome. We're always glad to have more investment and more activity going on here in the Atlanta area, and specifically North Fulton. Let's talk about the legacy investments that you make, and then we'll get into the reason why we're having the show today. You've got a long history of real estate investments, right, in Colorado.
That's correct, right? The Koelbel and Company was founded by the grandfather who back 70 years ago had the foresight when the interstate was announced that was going to run north and south through Denver to say, hey, probably be a smart idea to own some of that land where these exits are going to be, and started acquiring the farmland that subsequently later in time became Denver Tech Center and other popular locations for Denver. So as the city continued to grow, right, they would develop whatever asset class made sense, pass that tradition down to his son, Buzz Koelbel, who now has passed it down to his 3 sons, which are Carl, Walt, and Dean.
Awesome. Why the Atlanta market? You obviously could have expanded a lot of different directions. Why Atlanta?
So the question for why Atlanta kind of dates back to even looking during the height of COVID. We were looking at where were trends heading, even going into the COVID timeframe, which was demographically speaking, where were people moving to? But then during the height of COVID, what cities or states were business friendly? And specifically in regards to those dictating, hey, whether or not you could keep your business open or closed. And of which, the state of Georgia and Atlanta was, from our perspective, very business friendly. And then you look at where were corporations reacting to during COVID? Where were they staying, or more importantly, where were they relocating to? So we saw a lot of interest and traffic happening where you had people moving to Atlanta. You had a state that was very business friendly, and then you have businesses that are relocating here. And for us, that was a key kind of 3 metrics we were looking at, saying, hey, we're interested in investing in real estate in that marketplace.
And you specifically, we'll get to the specifics of the initial Atlanta area investment in just a second, but that investment is in North Fulton. So you've got a specific interest in North Fulton. Talk about why that is.
Specifically, I live here.
Well, that's a good reason.
No, I'm proud to call North Fulton home. When we moved here in 2019, it was very intentional for moving into North Fulton.
Right.
We think it's one of the best places in the country to raise a family. In fact, even internationally, I spent some time abroad, lived in Spain for 6 years. And when we came back, we kind of had the option to decide where we want to live. And we put the pin in North Fulton. So excited to be here. And again, excited now to own some real estate here as well.
Well, let's talk about what that real estate is. So you've acquired the Northridge Center, which is in the Sandy Springs market. Give the coordinates on where it's located for everyone first.
Sure. So it's located off the Northridge exit. So if you're coming up Georgia 400, after you pass, across 285 and past the kind of central perimeter office market, Northridge is a great convenient exit. 2 or 3 exits north of central perimeter. Wonderful location. Great spot particularly for local and regional businesses where the executives and the employee base kind of live within a 15 to 30 minute drive radius, which when looking at Atlanta, if you can say, hey, you can be at the office within 30 minutes, for us is a big selling point.
Yep, that's for sure. So these, what were obviously the location stood out, but we're talking office, real estate, and a whole lot of folks are having their qualms, shall we say, about investing in the office vertical right now. You obviously have different views on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And office is very much a contrarian investment at this time. Our outlook on it, and this dates back to kind of 2 years ago during the height of COVID, was that office is going to be bifurcated. There's going to be winners and there are going to be losers as we came through COVID and even for years afterwards, because the dynamic has shifted, right? The work from home is here and it's here to stay, in our opinion, but that doesn't mean office is dead. And one of the key points we've been really focused on is the flight to quality argument. And flight to quality to us isn't, just the most expensive, nicest building. Flight to quality comes down to what is the nicest building relative to what you as a tenant or business can afford to pay. Those office buildings that can offer the best value for the money are the ones we believe and are seeing in our own portfolio are securing new tenants. And it's important, that flight to quality argument, both from the standpoint of retaining your current employees and attracting them back to the office, but also going out there, right? There's a talent war right now. So in order to go attract new employees, you need to have good, high quality space. And so that's what we look to deliver.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, this property that you acquired at Northridge Center, this is, I guess, what you might call middle market, right? I mean, obviously, this is not a big high rise or something like that. This is what you would term middle market.
Absolutely. Okay. It's right down the fairway, called a Class B plus suburban office building.
Got it. Is that where you see most of the value right now?
For us, for our investment profile and what we're looking to do, this is where we see tremendous value. Gotcha.
So what is and I assume you're still looking for other properties along the way that fit criteria similar to what Northridge Center fits.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you enter a new market for the first time, it's difficult to get the first deal done. But once you plant the flag and start to become known in the community itself, but also our knowledge base only gets up higher and we get smarter. So generally speaking, this will lead to deal 2, deal 3, as we look to build a portfolio here rather quickly.
Gotcha. Folks, we're here chatting with Taylor Cox. Taylor is with Koelbel and Company. Taylor, talk about the sellers of these properties, not just the seller of this property, but I'm just talking about in general. Are you finding that they're in a mood to sell for whatever reason, that they're maybe forced to sell given their investment criteria or what have you, and that these properties present good opportunities from that perspective?
Yeah, and boy, you kind of hitting a hot topic in terms of what kind of sellers are out there today.
Okay.
The market is moving quick, particularly in office, and a lot of this is being driven by the capital markets, particularly availability of debt, which is pulled back tremendously over the last 45, 60, 90 days. And we are finding that is typically a question anytime I see a deal out on the market to be bought. One of my first questions is, hey, is this a market seller, right? Is this an owner that is going to sell kind of no matter what prices come in, right? If you get 1 offer, 2 offers, 10 offers, are they going to transact? And if the answer is no, they kind of have a bottom price. And if they don't get what they want, they're not going to sell. Frankly, we're not interested today. Where we're seeing transactions happen or with those sellers for one reason or another. And there's a multitude of reasons that they're looking at the the brokerage team that's taking their property out saying, hey, go make a market and we're going to transact. Those are the deals that we're paying attention to.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So I want to give you a chance to put the pitch out here on this property and why those companies that are looking for a place to, roost, I guess, shall we say, why they should look at this property. I mean, talk about the attractions that you see for tenants.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. So again, I alluded to it already with the commute. Mm-hmm. As we track and watch the back to work movement and those companies that are back in the office and having their employees come back, one of the most common complaints we hear for, I can't get folks back, is if the commute is long. Mm-hmm. And long generally being defined by more than 30 minutes.
Right.
So we really like the position of Northridge being just north of Central Perimeter, right? Just south of North Fulton, which also is a very popular office market. The talent pool for the employee base is tremendous up here in North Fulton. Mm-hmm. And not only do you have the employee side, but you also have the executives. If you drew a circle, right, there's a lot of population right here within 30-minute drive range. And in fact, when we were conducting the tenant interviews on the building, almost every single one lived within about 15 minutes of where we are. And every business has a preference, right? And a lot of folks want to be in the Beehive, and I call it the Beehive Central Perimeter. Incredibly large office market, tons of retail, tons of shopping, tons of just space, but also a ton of traffic. Mm-hmm. One of the beauties of being off of Northridge is you are a few exits, so you can either north or south of the North Fulton. You can kind of avoid a lot of that traffic jam. You can get in and out a lot easier than being in either of those two popular markets. Mm-hmm. And then the last bit is building specific is really was interested in the amenity set that was existing with a tremendous cafe that is operational in the building, up and running, that people love, fitness center that's in there. But we're also saw an opportunity to take some vacant space, add in a tenant lounge, common conference room, continue to improve upon the amenities set offered. But the vacancies that we have are terrific. And we think that they were very appealing to the type of businesses we're trying to attract to the building.
Terrific. And talking about traffic, being right there located right off of Georgia 400, you're going to benefit from, as Georgia 400 continues to build out in this big project that's been going on for a couple of years now. As that rolls into completion, it's going to be a whole lot easier to get in and out at Northridge Center.
Absolutely. I as a local resident as well, I can't wait till that's done.
Absolutely.
But it's great work, and we're starting to see some of the benefits already with those flyovers opening up.
We sure are. That's great. So Koelbel has been active traditionally in other real estate categories, light industrial, retail, et cetera. Is that an interest here in the North Fulton area?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is right now for acquisitions, our primary effort here has been in office, just because we saw that as the opportunity. There is a softening kind of across the market right now due to, again, primarily the debt markets. So as fundamentals maybe settle down a bit more in multifamily or industrial, which have been red hot for last 8-10 years,
right,
we are hopeful, certainly paying attention to those asset classes, and would love to pick those up as well.
Sounds like contrarian is the word for you, though, right? I mean, you're looking for what everybody else wants to get rid of, and that's historically been a pretty good way to do it. Yeah,
historically, it doesn't always feel good when you're kind of at a party for one, but at the same time, we're confident that human nature will play out. That in an office environment, 1 + 1 can = 3 when people are collaborating and talking, and you just don't get that experience over Zoom.
Well, Taylor, this has been great, and we appreciate you. We appreciate your investment in North Fulton, and we're looking forward to more. In the meantime, for those that would like to know more, would like to be in touch, tell them how they can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can always go on our website, which is www.koelbelco.com, or you could even reach out to me personally, which is at tcox@koelbelco.com.
Awesome. It's Taylor Cox, folks, from Koelbel and Company. Brand new investment here in North Fulton in the form of Northridge Center. Taylor, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, John.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder. If you're looking for a great team building activity that's different and that does not involve the possibility of broken ankles, well, and mosquito bites, I've got one for you. A&S Culinary Concepts. Yes, they're an award-winning culinary studio, and they've got corporate catering that's terrific, but they also do corporate team building. So imagine your team standing around a stainless steel table and seasoning meat and cutting up vegetables and then cooking together and eating what you cook. Well, that's what you end up with, and you do it all under the guidance of an executive chef, Andrew Traub. So give him a call, 678-336-9196, or go to asculinaryconcepts.com. And folks, we are coming up on show number 500 for North Fulton Business Radio. We are pretty excited about that milestone, and we're going to have a very special show. So check that out. That'll be coming here over the next few days, and we're looking forward to getting that out there. We've gotten to this point because of your support, and we are grateful to you. And you have continued to share the show, and we would love it if you would continue to do that. If you've heard something in this show that makes you want to share it with somebody else, if you know somebody else that needs to know about Taylor and the great work at Koelbel Co. or any of our shows, if you could share the show, we would appreciate it. So for my guest, Taylor Cox, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.